Denver and Ingrid Vraagom are well-known actors from TV shows like Laan. Off camera, they are loving parents to daughter Skye, who has autism, and her diagnosis was a learning curve for this small family.
We went to a specialist and said, listen, she doesn't interact with kids her age.
She's walking in circles.
She's very much in her own world.
And she creates these sounds, which sounds like she's meditating on, so I thought it was because I used to sing to her in her mommy's tummy, and I thought, hi, the little one, she got my tune. And then, like she said, like what Ingrid said, we took her for a checkup, and that's when we discovered that little one is a bit off the beat.
Skye was diagnosed at age 2, which is the age many children are diagnosed with autism. But because the child is so young, it's an emotional roller coaster for parents.
It's difficult if you can't communicate with your child, and she couldn't tell us what she wanted.
There's
or
no
she
emotion.
Was feeling. It was just, she didn't know how to communicate at all. And I had a suspicion, that something, I thought that maybe she might be autistic or something, but I wasn't quite sure. So when she got diagnosed, I was just thank you now. We got confirmation, so now let's move on. What can we do now?
Denver and Ingrid have been a shining example of dealing with autism positively. They've learned to adapt to Skye's needs and use their acting training to help her learn and grow.
It's an everyday thing. Every day
is different.
It's different. So you literally learn to become them, if you know what I mean. You become a little Skye. You become a little friend of hers. Fortunately for me, we're both actors, so we could create puppet shows and tell stories, and she loves the voices that I do, so I do a whole lot of different voices, and I'm quite stern, I would say. Nani, it's fine. And she said, what's the word? I'm bold, man. I talk loud, and now I'm trying to calm her down, but with this voice, and they just don't shout at me, and then you realize, oops, I went a bit too far.
Because autism results in communication and behavioral problems, speech and occupational therapy usually have great success, which was the case with Skye.
She used to get occupational therapy and speech therapy. The occupational therapy helped a lot. It brought her out of her shell a bit, because she's very shy and she doesn't, talk to people very easily. So that helped a lot, and it helped her with her motoring skills. And the speech was also just to get her
verbal. Give her verbal diarrhea, but not that she needs it, but. And she's quite inquisitive, so these little things, we stopped it now for a while since she moved to school, because we're still searching for an occupational therapist for her, but we normally just do it at home, and we do everything that they did at
I would
at the
definitely recommend it to parents. Occupational therapy really works.
Parents of autistic children are often overwhelmed trying to find support and therapeutic assistance needed for their child. The C.A.R.E Centre in Johannesburg offers a holistic solution for families and children with autism under one roof.
The C.A.R.E Centre, or the Centre for Autism Research and Education, caters to learners on the autism spectrum between the ages of 18 months and 12 years of age. We admit learners with a primary diagnosis of autism who would benefit from interventions that we offer at the centre. We offer educational and therapeutic interventions aimed at learners on the autism spectrum. Many of our interventions are not necessarily just aimed at the child, but aimed at the family as well, in terms of counselling, in terms of support, just in terms of guiding them through the process, either in terms of when they initially receive the autism diagnosis, or even if they later in that process, we can still guide them in terms of coming to terms with the necessary interventions required for their child.
C.A.R.E aims to support the principles of the national curriculum. They believe that optimal learning for every child is possible with a little adaptation of the classroom environment.
Working with children on the spectrum, all of the interventions need to be very specifically aimed at the areas that they specifically have difficulty with. So we're looking at the components of autism specifically. For learners on the spectrum, we know that they have communication difficulties, we know that they have sensory difficulties, social interaction difficulties, and that they also may display repetitive behaviors, obsessions, compulsions, and so forth. So when our staff are working with the children, all of those areas need to be taken into account. We have educators who are specialized in terms of the education component of autism, and we also have therapists, speech therapists and occupational therapists who are specialized in terms of dealing with the other areas of autism, such as the sensory processing disorder and the communication impairment seen with autism.
In addition to providing services for children with autism, parents often find that support and advice from other parents of autistic children can be a source of hope and inspiration.
We know that there's a lot of parents out there who are sitting with the same thing. So what I would suggest is just live with them. Literally become them.
And do research.
Yeah.
Do lots of research and just to keep you informed on what to do, where to go. Because that's what I had to do, and what we had to do is just a lot of research. But not to feel like ashamed or embarrassed by them. They're wonderful children and we learn so much. I mean, everything that we experience is sort of offbeat every day, you know, and different.
I'm more cleverer than you.
So I would say embrace it. And
don't be scared to let them socialize.
Yeah.
Let them socialize with normal kids, normal people.
Yeah.
That's where they actually learn more than you as a parent, you know,
Keeping
because they come. Don't keep them sheltered. Just let them go.
Autism needn't be stigmatized. Education and awareness can break down barriers, and we can start to appreciate seeing the world through these children's eyes.